You're watching another great interview on Audio Inc. Radio.
Hey guys, this is DJ ASHBA from 6 a.m. and my new project ASHBA, and you are listening to Audio Inc. Radio with Anne Erickson.
What's going on? It's Anne Erickson with Audio Inc. Radio, and I'm very happy to be here with ASHBA. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Well, first of all, congrats on the new track that's out. And I thought it was really cool because you decided to actually remake a classic Italian folk song. So tell me about your decision to do that.
Yeah, it's crazy. You know, I was sucked into this TV show called Money Heist, and I heard the theme song, and I had heard Bella Ciao before. It's one of those songs that are, you know, such a great melody, but I kind of forgot about it, and I got sucked into the show and got so inspired when I heard it. And with the new music that I'm doing now, you know, like guitar dance music, I was like, God, that'd make a great remake, you know. So I ran to the studio, and that kind of inspired it. And then my buddy Chris Frazier, who's a very famous Disney artist, knew I was a fan of the show, and I had been talking to him about, I don't know what to do for the cover, and I explained the whole thing to him, and he literally took the time to paint the Money Heist cover for me. So I was like, I gotta use this. This is so cool. So that's kind of how it was, how it came about.
Awesome. And it's your first solo track of the year. So do you have plans to release more?
Yes, we are going to be, we're re-releasing A Christmas Storm, because last year we kind of released it a bit late and people didn't get a, you know, chance to really hear that song. And that's a great track too. We took like 4 or 5 Christmas classics and combined them into a guitar dance version of them. And so that, I believe Edge Out just put those out on a compilation. So, and then, yeah, I'll be firing off new singles, tons more. This was a really weird, slow year. And we didn't want to just keep dropping singles without being able to support them live. So now that we're starting to book concerts, we're going to start releasing a ton of music. So
how is it different writing music with your solo project versus when you've done that with so many bands that you've been a part of?
It's, you know, on paper, it seemed like it was going to be very easy, you know, because I saw a big void. It's not like I'm the first person to ever put guitar over electronic music, but I think the way I'm doing it, it's kind of a one-of-a-kind thing. I'm doing it really in a unique way, where I'm actually playing guitar the whole entire show with a DJ. And, you know, I just saw a big kind of void as far as there's not a lot of kids in the electronic dance space getting guitar, like getting a performance. And I thought, if I could do what I do and inject it into this world that I love so much and inspire even one kid out there to pick up a guitar, that's the goal, you know. So, you know, putting guitar over electronic dance music, once I got in the studio, I realized pretty quickly why people don't do it. And it's because the frequency kind of sits right where the keyboards do. So that was the tricky part, getting, you know, the guitars to work with the keyboard and stuff. It was a lot harder than I thought it would be, but finally cracked the code on it. And I think what came out the other end is a really unique sound. So I'm super proud of it.
I do hear often that with young people, is that, oh, you know, kids don't like guitars anymore. Kids just want computerized music. Do you feel like something like this project might kind of turn on the younger generation to enjoying live music and live instruments?
I think so. And I've kind of experienced a little bit of the opposite. You know, I feel like these young kids are kind of starting to get inspired by guitar. You know, I'm hearing more and more guitar, and not only guitar, I'm hearing more performance elements like trumpets. And, you know, Timmy Trumpet's been out there doing it for a while. And, you know, there's a couple people out there that are actually putting live instruments to electronic music. And that's kind of what's popping right now out there. And kids are just freaking out because they haven't seen that before. And it's, to us, it's like, oh, we've been doing this our whole life. But to these young kids, they haven't really been exposed to that. So I've been finding out that that's kind of the new thing right now. People are starting to do it more and more, which is exactly why I'm kind of happy that we're up front on it, you know.
Right. No, that's great to hear. And you've got this gig coming up on November 12th. What should people expect from your live show?
Yeah, so I mean, just a party, just high energy. The graphics that me and my director Curtis put together are insane. Like you could literally just watch the graphics through the show and be entertained. It's really cool. They subliminally kind of tell this story all the way through, like we're abducting the crowd with our music, and it's really neat. You know, you kind of wake up on a table with aliens over you, you know, at the start of the show. So it's a really neat experience. And you know what I've done is created these really it's very moody, very cool. It has these crazy big party highs, and then it has you know, some very somber moments. But it's 45 minutes of just kicking people's asses with big beats and big guitars, and it's a ton of fun. But I have dancers. I mean, I'm really trying to blend my world with the electronic dance world. You know, I'm playing live with the DJ. We have dancers. You know, there's, you know, just tons of stage stuff going on, which is going to blow people's minds, I think. You know.
Well, what else have you been up to during this crazy pandemic period?
Well, I've been really mainly working on this music. I have probably 30 some songs ready to go. So I have a ton of music ready to go, and also released a 6 a.m. greatest hits album. So we wrote a few new songs together for that. And that just came out recently. But yeah, other than that, I've just been really super focused on this new music and getting it out there. And the live show, working out all the bugs to that too. So
I was going to ask actually about the 6 a.m. the hits that you just released, and I'm hearing all this buzz. It's not going to be the last 6 a.m. release, right? Because there have been some rumors about that.
No, I don't think so. I mean, I know they're kind of saying that there's no real plans for anything past this, but I just, you know, 6 a.m. has always been a labor of love for the three of us, and we're all three best friends. So it's like, something's gonna happen. I mean, we get together to go to dinner and we'll write a couple songs, you know. I mean, it's just in our DNA, I think, with the minute we walk into a room. So I would, you know, I wouldn't say never for sure. I mean, who knows? But it's something we don't ever plan. It's weird. It's a weird thing, and it's because we don't look at it like a band like other people do. We just look at it like this is kind of our therapy session. So when we get together, we kind of pour it all out, and a few songs usually tumble out.
Have you read Nikki Sixx's new memoir?
I have not. I heard he misspelled my name in it though. So
Oh, wow.
or his ghostwriter or whoever. But no, I haven't read it yet. But I heard it's a good book. I'm happy for him though.
Well, in addition to writing your own music and being in bands, you've also written music for other artists. I'm wondering, do you have a favorite track that you've written for someone else?
God, I wrote some stuff for Neil Diamond's Christmas record. That was a lot of fun. I co-produced that. He was awesome. I love Neil more than life, and I look at him like my grandpa, you know, and he treats me like so. He's just a great human being and a phenomenal artist, you know. So I learned a lot from Neil. I've spent a lot of time with him, and I just did 3 songs with Debbie Gibson on her newest record, and she's a phenomenal artist as well, and she's like one of my closest friends. And but I mean, I've written for quite a few people, from Drowning Pool to a ton of Motley Crue stuff to, you know, you name it. I've done a lot with a lot of different people over the years. But favorite, I don't know. I couldn't pick a favorite. You know, all these songs are kind of like, you know, they're such a big piece of me. And I think we released close to 100 songs with 6 a.m. So it's a lot of music.
Yeah, the fact that 6 a.m. you guys haven't been a band for too long and you already have a greatest hits type thing out says a lot about your songwriting.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know how many records we have, 7 or 8, somewhere around there. Yeah, because once I, you spend so much time in the studio writing these things that when they finally get out there and get on radio, I rarely go back and listen to anything that I've ever recorded. It's like kind of like, okay, and moving on. I'm usually just focused on the next song or doing something else. So
Cool. It's funny, actually, I had Dj Sixx on the show about a week ago to talk about his memoir. And so we talked about 6 a.m. and he was saying how great it is that you guys have so many hits for being around, not too long as a band.
yeah, yeah, it's amazing. I mean, 6 a.m., you know, the fan base couldn't be better. I mean, they've allowed us to really be true artists and paint outside the box and it's been great. And I think that's why the fans are so accepting of what I'm doing now, because again, I'm really doing something completely unique and different, and it's cool that they're being so accepting of it. I thought for sure, my rock fans aren't going to get this at all, but it's weird how it's some of them loved it right off the bat, some weren't quite sure what it was, and now that I keep releasing music, I'm finding that they're like, wow, I get this now. And I think once we stamped a label on it, guitar dance music, it's GDM, it's kind of a new subgenre of EDM. I think people were immediately like, okay, I get it now. It's just, it was kind of hard to put it into words until we called it guitar dance music, and then everybody's like, oh, it's easy.
Well, I feel like a way to keep rock music alive is to be innovative. That's really what rock is all about. It's about being unique and different and trying new things.
Yeah. I mean, as an artist, it's so crucially important. And I believe it's what our fan base understands. They allow us because we go on these little tangents. But, it's kind of sad because there's a lot of rock bands that if they change their sound at all, their fan base just, eats them up for breakfast. That's always kind of bothered me because it doesn't allow those bands to really, truly tap into their full, artistic abilities. I don't think, it's kind of sad. But I mean, some bands are great at, just like AC/DC is AC/DC, and that's what they do, and it's great. And I think if they did change, at all outside of those walls, people wouldn't get it probably. So, it works for some and not for others, I guess.
Well, you also toured with a little band called Guns N' Roses for a long time, and I'm wondering, do you have a top memory from that experience?
Oh man, I mean, there's so many memories from that, 6-7 years. I think the biggest memory, like when I think back on those days, it's just, how probably misunderstood Axel is. He's just, to me, I mean, I can't speak for other people, but he's just one of the coolest guys to hang out with. He's when he's your friend, he has a very tight circle, but when you kind of gain his trust and you're in that circle, you couldn't find a better fucking dude. It's just a cool fucking dude. And we had a ton of fun on stage and even more fun off stage. So yeah.
Do you guys still keep in touch?
Not too much, but I mean, the minute we see each other, I'm sure there's going to be big hugs thrown. Like we have so much respect for each other, I believe. So I miss him. I miss him to death as my buddy. But they've been on tour. They've been nonstop busy, and I've been slam busy. And that's kind of how this industry is. You kind of your paths will cross one day, and it's just how it is. It's like a traveling circus.
Well, what is next for you next year? A new full length maybe with the solo project?
I've decided I'm not going to ever probably drop. I mean, I wouldn't say ever, but it's kind of, we live in a little different world now. We're not doing any physical CDs. with this new thing. We're just dropping singles one at a time, but we're going to start firing off a lot more singles a lot quicker. But my goal is just to get out there and play as many places as I can and get this show in front of people. That is pretty much my only goal right now.
Well, ASHBA, it's been awesome chatting with you. Congrats on all your success, and cannot wait to get new stuff from you next year.
Thank you so much for having me on. I'm so excited, and everybody out there should be listening to Audio Inc. Radio.